Sparks coming over. Contact between five. Oh my goodness me! It's a huge smash. Smithy's out of the Grand Prix. It's a horrific shutdown.
You can see the frustration, desperation. Walls might be crumbling a bit. You can see it.
Get ready to live fast.
With just 9 points to his name here in the first 2 races, can Equaz turn his season around, and can he turn it around here in Australia?
Go then in Australia. I think we've got a few position changes already. Here comes Tango through both the front row drivers. He's up into P1 now, going around the outside. Nigel, we're very close there to making contact. It looks like Fando has made the wrong call here. The intermediate sides are really not good at the moment. VTOD dropping down the order. Unfortunately for VTOD, he started in P8. He's now dropping down to the 19th position there. Fudge McMuffin is battling with Fando. Fando is now down to 7th from the from the pole position of this grid. He's having a horrible time on those intermediate compound tyres. They're not warming up enough, are they? I think, and he's not got the water disbursement on those tyres.
Let's pick our pace up. Let's go.
Nigel there is carrying the lead. He's got just over 1 second gap now to Equaz, and looks like Sparks trying to put the pressure on the Aston Martin there to get himself up into P2. Could it be an Alpha carry P1 and 2, a front row lockout, but P1 and P2 in this race as well on the top step on the podium.
The circuit's definitely looking better than it was a few minutes ago. If we could just move a bit more of that standing water, we might be able to go on to the intermediates.
Rain makes us all nervous. You're more on edge, because at any moment, small mistake is huge.
You really need to be at one with the car.
You just go with the car you have and do the best you can.
Ferrari driver VTOD, that Alfa Romeo is out of the session. That is a safety car.
Oh my god.
Go on, take a press. Press clutch.
You okay there?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm out.
Ginger Rage into the pits comes Nigel. Equaz, Far, Pot Stuff, the top drivers at the top of the leaderboard, I should say, are all in for the intermediate. Are they? Nope, it looks like the wet compound tyres there for Nigel. Some drivers have gone onto the intermediate compound tyres and some have stayed on the wets. Nigel has pitted for the wet compound tyres. Equaz as well has pitted for the wets as well. So we're looking like the drivers staying on the wet compound tyres for now. I wouldn't say it's the intermediates just yet because the rain is still falling heavily around the Albert Park circuit. Another safety car, and Kamara Race has got himself up into P13. Mark Woodsy onto the mediums, as is Equaz in P11. So interesting strategy calls here. I think we might have the safety car in this lap.
Okay, the safety car's coming in this lap. We'll be pacing the field in sector 3. Make sure to respect the delta until the safety car's into the pit lane.
Pit action. Into the pits comes Florent, Tango and Farfel. Farfel decided to get going now. Nigel, I think, will pit as well, will he? No, he's carrying on. So both the Alfa carries, I don't think, has made the right call here because they've both carried on now on those intermediate compound tyres. Smithy has carried on into P2. Now VTOD in P3, trying to get past the Williams there. Nigel is now up into P4, but everybody else into the pits as well. Fudge McMuffin has carried on in P5. The top 5 now on the intermediate compound tyres have not pitted for the drive. Everybody else has popped themselves into the pits, but of course this has cost them time. The drivers who pit under safety car, like the likes of Equaz, Mark Woodsy and Kamara Race, are now in prime position now to get some good points. Luckily that front wing is all intact as well. VTOD has been passed now by Equaz, Equaz now up into P2, up into P1, sorry I should say. Looks like Equaz is checked out though at the moment. Equaz is doing a great job there in the lead of this race, and he's looking like he's in control, and for a race victory as well for the Aston Martin team. Good stuff indeed from him. Equaz there wins the Australian Grand Prix. Fantastic racing from Equaz, but takes nothing away from Equaz. Equaz done a fantastic race. He was in command of the lead of the race as well. He wasn't fazed by all the shenanigans going on behind him, and a deserved winner there in the Aston Martin for round 3 of Australia in ALR Silver Season 5. Fantastic stuff indeed from the Aston Martin driver. A really calm, collected race from him. Dopey Lemons there we saw getting P2 there, no penalties for the top 3, and that has really helped them in this race there. Dopey Lemons there in the Alpine in P2, Dan Murphy there in P3. After a difficult start to the season, Equaz there with his first win in round 3 promotes himself up into the top 3 for the standings as well. Great stuff indeed there for Equaz in the Aston Martin. Welcome back everybody, we are back for Silver, and we are here for, of course, Season 5, Round 10 of the lovely Silver Circuit, and we're at the Silverstone Circuit as well, so that is good stuff indeed. What can Equaz do as well up to the line? He can get up to P2, but he's almost he's 4.5 tenths or so off of pole at the moment. Unfortunately for Equaz, he's currently in P2. They're on the front row of the grid. Good stuff indeed. Let's have a look. Nigel's off the circuit. Nigel, the championship leader, is off the circuit. He's not got any damage, but that is his qualifying run done and dusted. He's out of this. Well, he's not out of this qualifying, but he's out of this this qualifying run now, and that will be him at starting P6 and no better. So unfortunately for Nigel, that is it. His championship challenges. Equaz and Fandro currently sitting on the front row of the grid. He is going to be down in P6 at best. Dopey Lemons comes back to the pits. Irvine is back in the pits as well. Phelan there is not feeling finishing off this lap, and that is him staying in P8 as everybody else is done and dusted in this qualifying as well. There is qualifying finished for the Silverstone Grand Prix. We have got a very wet race. Look at that. It is pouring down in Silverstone. That is definitely a wet race. Well, it's going to be a wet start to the race for sure. It might dry up quite quickly though. We'll have to find out. But it definitely is a wet race. But there we go. Oh, Equaz there, going a bit squirrely there. Ultimate Beast has already got himself up into P2. Fandro has disappeared off in the distance. What a great start from Fandro indeed. Equaz there dropping down after a bit of a squirrely turn 2, and he's got himself back underway into P3. V-Todd there and staying in P4 for now. Ultimate Beast there and Equaz there are going to resume their battle. I think Equaz wants that P2 back, and he'll be looking for it very, very shortly. Nigel's got himself up into P4, but he's now losing time to the guys ahead of him. V-Todd is comfortably sitting in P5 at the moment. He's just trying to keep up with the championship leader of Nigel as well. Yellow flags in Sector 1. Yellow flags in Sector 1. It's Fandro. The race leader has lost the lead of the race. He must have gone off the circuit on the exit of the Wellington Straight. He's battling side by side now with Equaz through into Luffield, and he's lost the lead there. Ultimate Beast takes the lead on his first full-time appearance. Equaz trying to go around the outside here. It's going to be tough indeed on those wet compound tyres, trying to get the traction as well. Looks like Fandro's lost the lead. He's lost P2 as well. Equaz there gets the move done around the outside as well. Great move indeed from Equaz, and very carefully done indeed as well by both the drivers. Really good racing between the two of them. Dopey Lemons is having a problem there as well. It looks like, I think he's having a problem at the exit of Luffield as well. Hopefully he can get himself back underway, but Fandro they're having an issue somewhere through the Wellington Straight. We didn't see what happened exactly, but we just saw him trying to regain his composure and get himself back underway on the circuit. Of course, we can see the pace that he has got, but can you overtake in these conditions as well? It's much more difficult to overtake. Of course, it's very easy to lead in the wet conditions because you don't have any of that spray or anything around you to sort of make your race a bit more difficult. Cover your visor in droplets of water, that is. Yeah, Fandro there, after losing the lead of the race, he's down to P3. After having also almost a 2-second lead, I think it was, or over a 2-second lead at one point in the first 2 laps, and now he's got to try and get himself back up the order. Equaz going wide at the final corner there, just trying to recover the car there, and he's got himself back underway, but now into turn 1 we go. Let's have a look and see if they can get through here. Ultimate Beast now is checking out in the distance as these two now joined by Nigel as well. Nigel there will be very happy with Fandro there having the incident that he had, losing the places that he had after his spin, because that of course means that there's less points for Fangio to gain on him in the championship order, of course. But I'm sure competitive-wise, Nigel wants Fangio to do well. Nigel there is through. He's got another position lost by Fangio at the same position, same place. I think it seems like the car is not reacting well to that to the traction there. We've got pit lane action. Ultimate Beast is in the pit lane. I think the rain has started to stop, and I think maybe the intermediate compound tyres are the right call. Nigel stayed out. Ultimate Beast and Farther in the pits, as is Brabbit as well. The intermediates are definitely the right tyre to be on now. Gordo there is in the prime position as well, as is Tango and Bradfield, to claim some positions here potentially as they switched onto the intermediate compound tyres at the right time. Fangio comes out just ahead of Tango, the top 10 or top 9 I should say. Yet to pit. Into the pits comes Equaz there. Nigel's also in the pits. Vitor's going to follow him in as well, as is Wilson, I think. No, Wilson's staying out. So Wilson staying out. Phelan, they're coming into the pit lane as well, I think. So yeah, I think they will feel Phelan staying out as well. It looks like these drivers there are trying to make a mockery of the calls. But there we go. Cameron Barber, I should say, staying out as well. Ultimate Beast is of course pitted onto the wet compound tyres from the lead of the race, and I think that might have been a strategy error there for Ultimate Beast. Dopey Lemons picks up a penalty as well. Might have been a strategy error there for him, unfortunately, as he's changed onto the wrong compound tyre, I think, for the conditions. Ultimate Beast though comes around turn 1. He's now under pressure from Farth. Farth is all over the back of him here into turn 3, looking to make a move into turn 4. Equaz comes out behind Farth, so the drivers who did pit on the previous laps are making an undercut here. It's looking good indeed for the drivers who made an early stop. Out in the lead, Equaz is putting the pressure on Farth for the lead of this race. Equaz wants that win. You can see Nigel in the background as well. Oh, Farth going a bit deep there into Maggots and Beckett. That's going to entice the Aston Martin driver for this next straight down the run of the hangar straight, that is. And now onto the straight they go, down into Stowe corner, and you can see the slipstream, the ERS probably as well for Equaz there, trying to make a move around the outside. He's gone on the grass there as Equaz. I think Farth they're just trying to get the elbows out, and that has meant that Equaz stays P2 for the time being. Nigel is going to gain on these drivers as well. If they keep battling like this, he's going to be able to gain on the likes of Equaz and Farth too, and get himself up in the order. Of course, Farth battling with Equaz means that he's going to lose time, and also lose time to the drivers behind him. Of course, with the penalty situation for Farth, that is not good news. Brabbit is 3.6 seconds behind and could be on for a podium here if he gains that extra 7 tenths that he needs to get within the 3 seconds of Farth as well. We're on to lap 17. We've only got 9 laps to go. Phelan there sets the fastest lap of the race, looking for a win as well as Aston Martin, as they're within the range of Farth to get that P1 spot for Equaz. Once again, it'll be second win of his season if he can get that win, albeit on penalty situation, with Farth having 6 seconds penalties that will be added onto his race time at the end of this race. Equaz did win, of course, in Australia. He's looking to get his second win of the season. Is it going to dry out? Is it not raining? Equaz there sets the fastest lap of the race, so I think the conditions are improving. Potentially we might see a dry race. Brabbit there sets the fastest lap of the race. That's good stuff indeed for the Mercedes driver as well, and that's looking to get himself into the top 10. Into the order, of course, with the fastest lap. Of course, Fangio now coming through to get that fastest lap point as well. So I think the track is improving. Potentially, will we see in the next 6 laps or so a dry track? We're on to lap 25, the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix, and let's have a look and see who is going to be crossing the line in P1. I think it might be Farth, but I think Equaz might claim the victory here. Nigel is backing up Brabbit. Brabbit needs to get himself past, and I think Brabbit's realised that now. He's trying to get himself through, unless Nigel was just doing some fuel saving. But I think Brabbit has realised that what Nigel was doing here in the AlphaTauri is trying to back everyone up so that Farth can at least get his podium, and again get some points for the team, that is. Back into the pits there goes Gordo. Welsh Mando is also in the pits as well. Here comes Brabbit though, down at the hangar straight up to Stowe. Can he make the move into the braking zone of Stowe? No, not quite. He's having to stay in P4, and I think that is Nigel there pulling off a grand bit of teamwork here from for the AlphaTauri team. Like I said, the gap was about under 2 seconds at one point between Nigel and Equaz, wasn't it? And now he's backed off massively to allow the gap to extend to 4.7 seconds almost, which is amazing, to be fair. Great teamwork indeed, if that is the strategy. Unless maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's just the fuel light is flashing on this AlphaTauri, but no, it's not. He's still doing a great job there of holding back everybody as well. Farth is going to be having to go great guns indeed to try and get himself ahead by 6 seconds there of Brabbit, of his teammate as well, Nigel. But it's looking good indeed for the time being, as Farth is currently leading the driver of the day poll along with Equaz and Reflection. Get your votes in for the driver of the day very quickly indeed in the get your votes in. Sorry, indeed, in the comment section, of course, of the YouTube stream for your driver of the day, and that'll be the deciding, of course, the deciding factor of who gets the driver of the day win. So there we go, and that is it. Sorted with this one. So there we go. Farf and Equaz there, still battling away. The gap now to Nigel is 5.3 seconds. So Nigel's still backing them up. Rabbit needs to get a move on here, as does V Todd. I think Rabbit's trying to get himself through, but he can't quite do it. Unfortunately for Rabbit, he's having to stick behind the AlphaTauri of Nigel for the time being. We're on to the final lap of the race. Here comes Farf now round the final corner to finish the British Grand Prix on lap 26. He wins the Grand Prix, but Equaz on penalties is your race winner there. Equaz wins the Silverstone of the British Grand Prix. Fantastic stuff indeed.
Great drive.
On the penalties.
Well done, guys. Very proud of you. Long winter, long seasons in the past, but now we can fight.
In the end, so close indeed to the podium places. Equaz there is leading the way in the driver of the day poll, so get your votes in quickly. And there we go, we can see him there on the podium now, looking to celebrate his race win in style. Both the AlphaTauri boys there on either side there to get their P2 and P3 respectively as well. But it's going to be Equaz's day once again. He's won in Australia. It's his second win of the season here in Britain as well. Fantastic stuff indeed from Equaz. Really good stuff from the Aston Martin driver as well, and some good points there for the team for Aston Martin. Even though it's rain conditions, I think you might be sweating a bit.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, made a couple of small little errors, but luckily stayed in there. And yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a good race.
Were you pushing in the first few stints, or were you just trying to take it easy in those wet conditions?
I think once I saw Fanjo make his mistake, that's when I started to push, because he made that mistake again on the very next lap. But I just couldn't get past Beast. Beast was just it's not only difficult, but they was just very fast as well.
Pretty much had the win in the bag. You didn't have to try and overtake him or anything like that towards the last few laps, so it must have been a bit more comfortable towards the end, hopefully.
Well, it was a bit, but I was, of course, nervous with Nigel coming up, because at one point he was within a second. So luckily we managed to pull away, but I was definitely trying to, even on the last laps, I was still trying to take Farf, but he had great pace. Well done.
After his second win of the season and a string of 8 podiums in a row, Equaz now promotes himself into P2 of the championship and looking strong indeed in the Aston Martin. We are back for silver, and welcome to Zandvoort for round 15 of the Silver Season 5. We are here ready to get going for the Dutch Grand Prix. After a great qualifying here in Zandvoort, Ultimate Beast takes pole position, but Equaz is on the front row once again, the familiar place for the Aston Martin driver.
The 5 red lights are coming on here in Zandvoort. The 5 red lights are on, and the 5 red lights are off, and underway we are for the Dutch Grand Prix. A good start there from the Alpine, it looked like. Kamara's got a good start there on the medium compact tyres as well, trying to get himself past the Craig Eyes off the circuit. Equaz has got himself through. Fandra's got himself through. Dopey Lemon's got a 5-second penalty there for a severe collision. Yellow flags already as a safety car has been brought out from lap 1 from turn 1. Kamara there has had an issue as well, and that is a chaotic start indeed. And we are back underway. Here comes Beast. Beast under pressure now from Equaz there into sector 2. We'll come back to the shenanigans off the start very soon, but unfortunately a few drivers there having a few issues off the start of the race, and that is not good news indeed. Very uncharacteristic there from Silver as well, but we've got a few pit stops I think for the drivers there to make to get themselves sorted as well. Beast there carries on in the lead of the race. around the final corner there to cross the line for the first time. 36 laps of course around here. Equaz there looking to stick with him as well, but Fangio there on the soft compound tyres is going to have extra pace there down the inside. He's gone deep there into turn 1 round Tarzan corner. Equaz has cut back, but here comes Fangio now around the outside. He's got the move done on those soft compound tyres up into P2, and he's got the move done. Fantastically done indeed there from Fangio. He's managed to keep it clean as well. Great move indeed there from Fangio in the Haas. He's got himself up into P2 there after 1 lap as well. Rabbit defending very well indeed, but I think it's going to be close to losing DRS there on his teammate of Danny. Danny's got the pace now on those hard compound tyres compared to these very old medium compound tyres. 22 laps there, 23 laps at the end of this one on the mediums is no mean feat indeed. Here comes Fangio though, now down the main straight. DRS is not available there for Brabbit, and Fangio then moving himself up into P8 there before the braking zone of turn 1 and up into P8. There goes the Haas driver. Rain, I think, has started to fall. I think I just saw a flash of rain into the pits. There goes the race leader. The race leader of Ultimate Beast is in the pit lane already. He's onto the intermediate compound tyres, so he's decided to call it very early indeed there as a McLaren driver onto the intermediates. Is that the right call though? That it could be a fantastic strategy call there, or it could be a completely wrong strategy call. And here comes the next the new race leader is in the pit lane. Equaz there coming in now, so let's have a look and see what the rest of the drivers are going to do. Nigel stays out. He's up into P1 now, but he doesn't think it's wet enough net for the intermediate compound tyres. Equaz onto the intermediates as well. Ultimate Beast there in P5 there on the intermediates is 2 seconds back behind Dylan. Todd stays out as well. He's done 25 laps there on those hard compound tyres. Ultimate Beast back up into P3. Fangio coming round now to P4. A great recovery there from P4. DRS has been disabled though. It is time for the intermediate compound tyres, so those who stayed out might be on the wrong tyre. Dylan's gone onto medium compound tyres. That is the wrong call there, I think, as the DRS has been disabled. Brabbit coming round now, or Brabbit coming out of the pit lane I should say now. Here comes Dopey Lemons there into the pit lane. Danny might get a good undercut here indeed on his teammate as well. Reflection is going to stay out, although he should be, I think he might need to come into the pits very soon indeed. Both the Red Bulls are staying out on this lap, so that's going to be a bit of an issue there. I think if they were to both pit on this lap, Danny has got the overcut done on, or the undercut done on his teammate there. He's up into P9 there is Brabbit, and there's still positions to make up with the likes of Reflection, Dylan, Potstuff and Fangio there yet to pit. The two leaders Nigel and Todd yet to pit as well. There is still some pit stop activity to come here in Zandvoort, and the rain is falling very heavily now indeed, and it's definitely time for intermediates. You can see the McLaren of Ultimate Beast catching up to Todd very quickly indeed. Yellow flag in the background. It's for a McLaren of Craig R. I think Craig R's got himself sorted. He's on the medium compound tyres. He's on the wrong compound tyre. Nigel in the pit lane, and this is it. It's time for the intermediates for sure. Kamara's got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well. Into the pits comes Todd. Beast is going to reclaim his lead, I would say, as Nigel coming down the pit lane. Equaz is going to be slotting into P2. Here comes who's going to be next across the line. Fangio's in the pit lane as well. Into the pits comes Potstuff and Dylan. Equaz has now got a less than a second gap to Ultimate Beast there on the intermediate compound tyres. Potentially we might see a switch of play here. It looks like Beast is struggling there on this occasion on those intermediates there, and this is where the Aston Martin looks like he's shining. Potentially the setup is in favour of the Aston Martin in these wet conditions, and we might see a change for the lead very, very soon indeed. Brabbit is also all over the back of his teammate now. They've got a nice cushion there to P8 there in the form of Dopey Lemons. There 3-second gap there between the two of them, so no problems there. Got Gordo's back in the pit lane. He has got himself onto the intermediate compound tyres. Unfortunately, the car did not want to. The strategist did not want to get them on the right compounds. Kamara is off the circuit, and that has caused a safety car, I think. Is that a safety car, or is that just another VSC? I think it's a safety car indeed, unfortunately. So that is very bad news indeed there. Kamara off the circuit, and he has caused a safety car here. Away we go there for the restart of this race. Anybody going to get caught out on this straight? Looks like Equaz is pushing hard as well. Well, Beast is off the circuit. And Equaz can't get himself down the inside there. Beast is going to go through, and Equaz is going to go through. Nigel's gone through as well to claim claim P2. Both of them, with that mistake there from Beast, has cost him the race lead at the restart of this race. Smithy Almighty's got himself past Bradfield, Todd and Fangio there battling away as well, but I'm not sure what happened there to Beast. He lost control of the car. We've had an issue there for Reflection off the back of the grid as well. A big shame there for Reflection. Father comes up into P14 there with his fresher tyres, but Beast there on the restart, he made a mess there of the restart. I think just on trying to warm up the tyres, he went a bit too far wide. He swung the car back and he lost control. He went almost in the wall there off the circuit, and that allowed Nigel and Equaz there to come through for the the lead of the race there for Equaz, and P2 there for Nigel Fangio as well, pushing the McLaren there on for that position as well. Here comes Equaz now round the final quarter. He's managed to control the race very nicely. He had a big gap to make up on the restart of the race there with of course in the dry, but he's won the race there in the wet conditions. A fantastic race win indeed there for Equaz once again from the Aston Martin outfit. A great race indeed, and well controlled by Equaz indeed as well. Nigel there in P2. Good stuff indeed as he accepts his winner's trophy there as well. We have of course Nigel there in P2 and Ultimate Beast there in P3 as well, and they'll be in the commentary hopefully in the comments box as well for an interview in just a few seconds though. We've got our race winner there, Equaz. What a race win that was indeed. I think we saw the gap in the wet conditions. It was absolutely flipped on its head. It was your race to lose, wasn't it?
Yeah, appreciate that. Thanks everyone racing. Ultimate Beast, I think, deserved to win that today. It's a shame about what happened in the safety car, but I think I got a bit lucky with that. The pace of these guys on the softs in the dries were very, very good. Nigel was catching me up. I think I was like 5 seconds ahead at one point, and then it was like 2 seconds after like a couple of laps. So yeah, was happy with the run and happy with the win.
You were cruising really. So yeah, I think you seem to be very comfortable in the wet conditions.
Yeah, I really do enjoy the wet weather. I think Fangio pointed it out one time. Said that it's more harder to make mistakes because you're going a lot slower, which was a really great point.
After securing his third win of the season here in Zandvoort, Equaz now is looking to mount a title charge as he enters the final third.
The 5 red lights are on in Mexico, and away we go for the Mexican Grand Prix. 36 laps here of this famous circuit, and away we go. Fangio there gets a good start, but Nigel there comes in behind trying to get the slipstream there down the main straight. There's a lot of weaving going on there from both the drivers there. That is a very off-putting indeed for everybody behind, I imagine, as well. Into turn 1 we go comfortably there for Nigel and Fangio as well. Equaz has got himself up into P10, P3 I should say, with a great start indeed. He wanted a great start, he got one as well. Up 2 positions there. We'll get the position changes up on the graphic as well. Up into P3 there for Equaz. Good start indeed. Brabbit stays in P4. Ultimate Beast is up 5 places from P10. Poststuff is dropping down the order. He's had a difficult time. Equaz is going through. What's happened to Nigel? Nigel's left the session. He's out of the race. He's not in the car anymore. I'm not sure what's happened to Nigel there. He's dropping down the order there. Unfortunately, we've had some technical issues there for Nigel. Hopefully he can get himself back in the car, which is a big shame indeed. That's dropping him down the order there. Far got up into P6 there with gaining 3 places. Same for Echo. He's gained 5 places there in the Alfa Romeo. Copy and paste pretty much the strategy so far from the USA Grand Prix last week, where he won very comfortably indeed as well. So we're having to look to see, is he going to be able to repeat the feat as Beast has got himself past Equaz there into turn 1. He's up into P2. There is the McLaren driver. Good stuff indeed. A great move indeed. Now Equaz trying to fight back, but he's having to trying to yield at the moment because of course DRS again available for the McLaren as we go down towards turn 4. But no moves being made there between Equaz and Beast there this time. There I think they're going to have to sit tight there for the time being. They're trying to drop Brabbit at the moment, who's losing out to that 1 second window that he needs to keep for that lovely DRS dosage. Of course, it's very powerful around this circuit because there's quite a few. There's 3 DRS zones, isn't there? Of course, so you have to try and stay within DRS to try and maximise the speed throughout your lap time. Away, here comes Fangio as well. Fangio there on the freshest of the hard compound tyres is trying to get himself up in the order. Can he get a double overtake here? No, he's not. He's got past pot stuff. He couldn't get past Equaz though. Into turns 2 we go, and 2 and 3 we go, and like I said, Fangio there, we're going great guns indeed on those hard compound tyres. 10 laps younger than the likes of Equaz and Potstuff and Dopey Lemons and Craig R, of course, having made this stop under the safety car from the medium compound tyres as well. So Nigel, like I said, claims the lead of the race. ahead of Fangio now. Fangio, of course, is the only driver who I think can get to the end on his current set of tyres, and has, of course, made a stop there from a different set, from the medium compound tyres to the hards earlier on in this race as well. So he doesn't have to pit again, I would imagine. But the likes of Nigel and Equaz, of course, yet to pit as well. Brabit might have to pit down the order. Fangio's on the circuit. Fangio's had a problem there. Into the pits, though, goes Nigel there from the race lead. Is he going to be able to hold on to the race lead as well? We'll have to wait and see who's going to come into the pit lane from this stage of the race. I think the mediums can get to the end from here very comfortably indeed. So that is good news indeed for those drivers. The Farf Bomb says Serious Rushman in the comment section, and I think he's referring to that dive bomb there he did on Craig R there in the mini stadium section as well. Out of the pit lane we go. Nigel there is in the lead of this race. That is pretty good news for the driver who was, of course, disconnecting in this stage of the race. Owned the last safety car, that was as well. Equaz there in P2, and that is him up into P2 as well. No penalties there for the Aston Martin, which is great news indeed for him. Potstuff, who did make a pit stop, has lost out there a little bit, I think, to the likes of Equaz and Nigel there. He's into P3, Brabit in P4. Reflection with a great strategy indeed, and so far it's working out for him very well indeed. It's been P5, good stuff indeed from Reflection. Dylan in P6, Gordo there onto the hard compound tyres. I'm not quite sure if that's the right call there. Unfortunately, I don't know if Gordo had enough medium compound tyres to go on to for the latter half of this race. We're now into the final third. So safety car in this lap there. We're going to have 12 laps of green flag running there to the end of the race. Like I said, we're in the final half or final third of this race now, after completing the first 2/3. That is, so 24 laps have been completed, and now we're going to start on with the next 12, which is going to be led away by Nigel there on the restart here. We're just going to get ourselves ready to get going again, and of course the tyres trying to get them warmed up as well before we get ourselves launched off the restart. I think Nigel, they're trying to keep it as late as possible there before we get going. Of course, it's a very long straight indeed, so if the drivers behind get a good jump on him, then they can, of course, get themselves back into the lead of this race. But down the main straight we go. Equaz then not going to be close enough, I don't think, at this stage to get himself past Nigel there for the lead of the race there. Brabit there in P4, they're trying to get himself moved past. Here comes Reflection and Dylan into turn 1. Dylan going very deep on the brakes, but Reflection holds on for the time being through turn 2, but now into turn 3, and the Red Bull has been passed there by the Williams there. Up into P5 goes Dylan. We'll have to wait and see what happened there for Smithy, because Smithy is out of this race, and that is bad news indeed there for the Williams driver. There's no safety car yet, but that is a yet at the moment. It hasn't. We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen in this next few seconds. The VSC, I think. No, it is a safety car. Safety car has been called out. Will there be any drivers from the top or the order pitting again for the soft compound tyres? We'll have to wait and see. Nigel's got quite a big gap indeed at the moment. It's almost 5.7 seconds there, as you can see there, to Equaz. Will he make that opportunity to come into the pit lane? I don't think he'll lose too much, but will he gain that time back is the question as well under the green flag running once we get restarted. VTOD is back in the pit lane. Irvine's carrying on there. Of course, these drivers are pit for the soft compound tyres already, and will need to get himself back out onto the lead lap as well. Nigel carries on. Same for Equaz as well. Here comes Potstuff. Potstuff carries on as well. Brabit staying out. So it looks like the drivers is going to be staying out there in this race. Safety car is back in the pit lane now, and Nigel there is going to go now. So he's got himself a nice little gap there. Potstuff has got a great restart there, trying to get himself past Equaz there down towards turn 1, and already the Red Bull and the Aston Martin side by side. Brabit going to come through as well. Is he towards turn 1? It's going to be close indeed between these drivers. Into turn 1 we go. Oh, and Potstuff there. Oh, it's close indeed, and Equaz holds on to P2 for the time being. Potstuff there slots in behind. Brabit as well pushing through. This is the last time they're going to be on the main straight here tonight, and it's going to get intense, I would imagine, as we go down towards turn 1. Here comes the Mercedes of Brabit. They're trying to get himself past Potstuff. Dylan's dropped off the back here in P5. He's under pressure from Farf now, round into turn 1. Into turn 1 goes the Alpha Tauri driver. He's got the outside now. He's got the inside now. He's got the outside again, and Dylan loses traction there. Farf is up into P5. Dylan there down into P6. Dylan is losing out to the drivers there on the soft compound tyres now. They're coming through the order here at this stage. Somebody got a penalty down. Didn't see what happened at that penalty situation down the order there. Irvine trying to get past Craig R there around the outside, this time into the mini stadium section. Dopey's got a 5-second penalty there for corner cutting.
5 seconds, it's a yoke.
Dopey Lemon's now up into 8th place there, but I don't think he overtook anybody, did he? Maybe he overtook Echo, unfortunately, but we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. Echo picks up a 3-second penalty there for his efforts as well, unfortunately. Up the order, we'll have to look and see, because here comes Nigel there to win the Mexican Grand Prix. Through the stadium section goes the AlphaTauri driver. This is one hell of a Grand Prix indeed from him. And now he comes round the final corner there to finish off lap 36 of 36 and take the win on track there in the AlphaTauri. Once again, a great win indeed, but it's going to be Equaz who takes pole position, or takes the P1 position in this race. Brabic crosses the line in P3, Dylan in P4, Dan Murphy P5, Irvine in P6. Great result indeed from Irvine after a difficult race. Potstuff in P7 after the penalties added on. Same for Farf in P8. Welshman Honor gets P9, and I'm not quite sure who got P10. But blimey, one hell of a Grand Prix that. Welshman Honor picks up her first point USA last week, also on her first. But there is your race winner there. Equaz on the top step there. Nigel in P2 and Brabbit in P3 for the Mexican Grand Prix. One hell of a Grand Prix. Equaz is here, good stuff indeed. Of course, the race winner here from Mexico. You saw other drivers sort of fall by the wayside during that race, and of course the penalty situation played into your favour at the end of that race as well. But what were your thoughts there in the first few laps? We saw you jump up the order.
Yeah, just good job by the podium, and I just really needed a good start in the race, which luckily I did. But the boys ahead had a lot of pace. That was Nigel and Fanjo. They had really good pace. Like the safety cars saved me, but yeah, it was important to just get that early good start, and yeah, just try and stay out of trouble.
With yet another win to his name, Equaz is now on course for securing that P2 in the championship. Nigel there is leading the way, but the consistency from the Aston Martin driver is really helping him out this season, and he's done a fantastic job of keeping himself calm, cool and collected throughout most of the races this season.